it's not that bad actually. Oh, this is beautiful. Let's see. Let's do this. Now we play Ghastly Rush. They're at 1 mana. I don't see what they could possibly do. So we attack with quite the board, and they have to. Yeah. Do you see the 15/15 Sproutling? And you know what's going to happen next turn, right? Because we copied Disciple Student, we get another Ghastly Rush. And we have the attack token next turn. Okay, that was amazing. That went exactly like we wanted it to. Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Hy-Vee. I'm here with another deck that I cooked up with the new cards that have been released. And my favorite card has been Ghastly Rush. Mostly because of all the all the types of implications that it has when you summon exact copies of your allies. I am mostly interested in abusing enter effects, so I instantly looked into Captain to sprout a bunch of seedlings, and I built a deck around it. It's quite a unique deck concept where we play only agents and only one copy of Ghastly Rush. And then the goal is to establish quite a big board, preferably with Captain, but we don't always draw him. And then we play a Discipled Student, which is then guaranteed to generate the Ghastly Rush. And if we play the Ghastly Rush and we copy the Discipled Student, we get another Ghastly Rush, so this can go infinite in that way. But usually one Ghastly Rush can be enough if you have a big board to close out the game. Some interesting cards here are Protectionist, which very easily levels when all the temporary units die. It was a bit hard to find good units, like we don't have that many units in the game yet, and if you can't play any spells you need a whole lot of units. We have Glade Grazers as a diver. I thought having it consistently at turn 2 and then growing it can be quite helpful. Especially because Ghastly Rush summons usually 6 other allies, so Glade Grazers flourishes 6 more times. When we have the guaranteed Glade Grazers, that usually means Burrowing Beetle can also consistently level. Of course, the enemy will try to kill Glade Grazers, and we have no protection here because we don't play any spells. So it's a really all or nothing game plan. We can buff it up front with Egg Tender. We have Sloopy Druid to help somewhat with the board. And we have some abundant growth in Panicked Refugee here. Spark of Bounty, Glasswing Monarch. And if the games go on a bit longer, then Spark of Bounty and Glasswing Monarch help us to stabilize a bit. Spark of Bounty specifically allows us to grow our board to outgrind our opponents. If we're against more aggro decks, we have cards like Forest Recluse, Territorial Pack, and of course we have a very low curve here with 12 1-drops. But while we can stabilize the aggro matchup with all these 1-drops, we do need to establish some kind of board. So if the enemy keeps wiping a board, we will never be able to play a useful Ghastly Rush. But the most cool combo I think is having a Captain on board and a full board, and then playing Ghastly Rush. You do need one seedling on board, otherwise this goes to waste. But you get a very, very big seedling that way. And if it's already leveled, it also shifts to Deadly Fauna, so the seedling instantly gets overpower. And otherwise you might have a Oswald on board to grant the overpower. But there are some interesting things going on with the order of your units before you spawn Ghastly Rush. So you might want to, if it's your attack turn, you can reorder the way in which units attack. And that changes which effects are triggered in which order when you play Ghastly Rush. So maybe you want Abundant Growth, or maybe you want Deadly Fauna, and depending on that you... I'm thinking if you want Deadly Fauna, you have to put Captain on the right. That way he enters last and Deadly Fauna is triggered instead of Abundant Growth. So there's some cool little how do you call it? So, some mastery there to keep that in mind. Okay, let's take the deck for a spin. We're gonna play a casual game here. And let's see what we can do. So, like most of the decks I come up with myself, it's a bit binary. Like I said, if you can establish a board, Ghastly Rush can be great. If you can't, it will be a bit of a tough game. And we don't run any spells, so that makes it really difficult to, well, first of all, build or keep the board. The good thing is opponents don't know what we're playing. They might still assume we hold cards like Bloom. But yeah, we don't. So what also makes this interesting is that to be efficient with our mana, since we don't have spells, we can bank 3 spell mana, typically for Ghastly Rush if we want. But typically we want to play everything on curve, so we don't lose out on mana that we cannot use later. If we bank 3, then at turn 6 we could play Disciple Student and then Ghastly Rush. We could play Disciple Student in an earlier turn and then we could play Ghastly Rush as early as turn 4, but usually we don't have a great board by then. There we go, and we're playing against a mono Lifeblood deck with an Aardvark. So right away I'm thinking of ways to kill it, but we don't, because we're not playing any spells, so we just have to create the bigger board. It's going to be interesting. That can definitely help. So their goal is also to get a big board. So let's see who manages it best. They're playing on odds, so we're attacking on evens. So we have to curve. So we do Grazers on 2. I would like Sleepy Druid on 3, because we don't have Actiner to buff it to a 3/3. So then we have to choose between Mycologist and Burrowing Beetles. I prefer Burrowing Beetles, because in combination with Glade Grazers can quickly level. Interesting. And I don't expect that much. Like, let's see, what does Lifeblood have in terms of removal? They have the 5 mana, what is it, Unstoppable Growth? Let's go. And they have stuff like Rumpus and Throwdown. Oh. Yeah, Throwdown, okay. Wow. I did not expect that to actually happen, but sure. It's unfortunate, because that card really benefits from Ghastly Rush. I would have liked to keep it alive, but it's fine. Really running into some problems here. We could play our own Panicked Refugee. So we can't really protect our Burrowing Beetle, it's just going down, but that's not the end of the world. I think we need to play this. So these matchups are hard when we're fighting for the board. Especially if the other unit, or the other... the other player draws a bit better... draws the better cards to establish a board. Like this throwdown was just the worst for us. Okay, we still have to curve, so I'm thinking we do Mycologist, Sleepy Druid. We could play the Disciple Student and the Mycologist instead, but I really like having Sleepy Druid on the board. I think we play it first. So we can think something if it's threatened to be removed. Okay. I'm thinking, do we kill the Actender? Let's see what they play. If they don't play anything, we're gonna pass, because we're going positive in mana. Let's do it. Because now we have the bigger board. We could play... Yeah, we kind of have to play Captain here. I would like to play Student as well, but our board is too full. So ideally, we get to kill off a unit now. So maybe we play Student now. Yeah, this is perfect, because next turn we have 6 mana for Ghastly Rush. So we need to kill off a unit, play Captain, and then next turn we can play Ghastly Rush. That's optimal. But they have to attack though.
I wonder what this one does.
I really hope they attack. Otherwise, next turn we could attack ourselves, kill off the wolf, play Captain. I don't think they're gonna attack here. That's unfortunate. Because now, what do? We have enough mana for Captain and a unit, so let's do this. Then what do we even kill? Also, our Captain doesn't level. So that's really tough. Instead, we could go for the Egg Tender Spark of Bounty angle. That might make sense then. So let's do this, this, and this. And then we buff it here. They're gonna protect it for sure, right? But we create some board space on our side. It's funny, sometimes you're scared of not being able to establish a board and then suddenly it's too full. They might have the Sprout card 2 mana, what's it called? Symbiosis. Very evasive units. It's interesting. Okay. So here we are gonna fill our board with Spark of Bounty. But I'm sure we can kill a couple of things in the next turn. First of all, he's gonna attack with his... is it called Jenny when it evolves? Yeah. He's gonna attack with Jenny into our Jenny. So it's gonna die. So we need one more space on the board. But also now that we have... Oh, he also gets evasive. I see the vision. Okay, that's nice. So we also flip a bunch of units now. This is really interesting. What could he have? He could have the 4 mana Sprout 1 with all of our units. So I guess we block here. It's gonna protect that for sure. Ideally we keep Disciple Student alive. Ideally we keep everything alive. Because I'm thinking of playing Ghastly Rush. So this way, 1 unit dies. Take 11, that's fine. Let's do it like this, see what happens. Yeah, the double evasive is a bit annoying, because that threatens us quite a bit, so... Suddenly we're at 4 health. Yeah, so we don't... Once again, we don't have spells. Oh, I should have tapped Zay. That's my bad. But it's not that bad, actually. Oh, this is beautiful. Let's see. Let's do this. I never see it coming. We can even tap Aura, and we should tap Aura here. We have 1 mana left over. We could play Guard the Prince, but I don't think we should. We play this, so it triggers on the Disciple Student. And we should also buff something with Zay. We're not gonna hit Deadly Fauna this turn, that will be next turn. So what do we hit with Zay? Oh, we could also decay. Flourish. I'm not sure what Flourish is. Let's just press something. Okay. Next ally that enters play flourishes. So it's not this round. Was that the case before the nerfs too? Now we play Ghastly Rush. They're at 1 mana, I don't see what they could possibly do. So we attack with quite the board, and they have to... Yeah. Do you see the 15-15 Sproutling? And you know what's gonna happen next turn, right? Because we copied Disciple Student, we get another Ghastly Rush. And we have the attack token next turn. Okay, that was amazing. That went exactly like we wanted it to. Let's try to play one more. Because this was a short game and it's a lot of fun. One thing I want to point out is that this deck, because we only use one Ghastly Rush, if you don't want to spend money or maybe you have one wildcard laying around, or you just got it luckily from a pack, you don't need all 3 copies for this deck. One is enough. And I think that's a really cool part of the deck. You need Disciple Student, obviously, which is an epic. And I think, Egg Tender, sure, Garden Apprentice. There's quite some epics here. Some of them I think you start out with. And the Glass-Winged Monarch, honestly, you could replace it with something. I don't think it's essential to the deck. Like I said, you do run out of good units at some point. You could play Zealot of the Hunt. I think that could be nice, because it also does something when it enters. Same goes for Hungry Tyrannosaur. Hungry Tyrannosaur is really easy to get, because it's common, especially when you play draft. You will want to pick it, and you might have 3 of them already. I don't like it with Wandering Mountain. I haven't tried it, to be honest, but I think it's a bit slow. Yeah, you could play Harbinger of Power for another Deadly Fauna trigger if you want. Rotting Rocker for 2 activates. Sepper, I'm a bit wary of. It depends on the timeline. With Abundant Growth, it's not so scary, but yeah, deal 1 to your own board. It's a bit scary, especially if you copy it, because then I guess... Yeah, I guess then it does 2, so yeah, it's a bit scary. Librarian's Assistant we do not include, because it will not draw us anything. Sapling Dryad could be a nice card. I had it in here before. The problem is you're not sprouting so much. If you do, like if you have Captain and Dryad and you copy them, it's an insane burst. But otherwise it's often just not that great of a card. So I typically don't include it. Somber Astronomer. If you want to slow down the deck, you want to generate an actual spell you could use, might be nice, even in combination with Bring That Bouncer. Yeah. Oh, it's interesting. So I'm assuming like a mid-range, board-centered Lifeblood Splintergleam deck. Forest Recluse could definitely come in handy. Glasswing Monarch. Also very nice, because they don't run evasive units probably. But we also need some early game. I think this is fine. We can play Forest Recluse earlier if we need to. Protectionist could be nice. Because we can easily level it with Ghastly Rush.
Ooh, I wonder what this one does.
But they have Blood Bolts and Throwdowns at some point, although I think they're not gonna be able to play the Hungry Tyrannosaur in time. I think our first Ghastly Rush comes down before that.
I made it myself.
That's actually nice. Because these counters are Blade Grazers, right? Next turn we want him to attack with it first. I don't know what he's waiting for. We want him to attack first, then we play Blade Grazers. And then on our attack turn we can play, for example, Fervent Mycologist for Recluse. And that way he can't kill it anymore. Although at some point the bleed is gonna matter, I think. Yeah. I think we want to kill it. As much as we want the board. Yeah, we get something for it also. We can play Glade Grazers. Like, they might ping it. They might have a rebuild or something. But yeah. That's the thing, because it's a diver, they will keep these things in hand, typically. Okay, that's nice. What we can do now, we could play Sleepy Druid, but we could also play Jenny, and then if they play something, we play Forest Recluse, and we can actually aggro them down a little bit. They do have 5 mana though. 3 mana, let's see, what would they play? Maybe the 3/4 Rejuvenate unit. Oh, or the other 3 mana units. Yeah, that's problematic. They do 2. That's fine. So it would be great, you know, to keep Forest Recluse, but I don't want to bank the mana. And this is a great attack. We deal 7 here, and we spawn a seedling. So our hand is very different from last game. We have quite some more beefier units. So make sure you always play Jenny before Glade Grazers. Because the seedling, if you sprout, gives another buff to it. Nice. So it's not the game plan, but they are at 11, and that matters because that means that later on, even if we don't have the best board, we still have a lot of pressure because they can't go down too low. And even if we just copy, you know, this Glasswing Monarch, for example, it's a 5/5 with abundant growth. If it gets to attack twice, that's quite bad for them already. So here we drew all 3 Reductionists, which is not great. Like, we can't revive much, we don't have the board space for it either. I'm assuming they're gonna kill something now though. What's this? Oh. Grants 2 agents bleed 3, so yeah, they're just dead. They will die after the round. Yeah. Okay, I'm thinking. They don't have... If I play Disciple Student now, we bank 1 and then we go to 5, so we can play... Yeah, this is what we do. Wait. It depends on what they drag, right? Do you think they're gonna drag Glade? No, they're not. So now we're a 4/5. They're not gonna drag Glade Grazers, because they will die, and they don't have mana for Fervor, for the Fervor spell. So they're probably gonna drag... They're not dragging anything. So... oh, they do heal. I forgot about that. But I think this is still good. Unless they can now ping us. If they have Blood Bolt... They probably have Blood Bolt. Okay. I was too excited too early. They can counter this easily. Shit. I was gonna say if they can't kill Glade Grazers here, yeah. It grows to be really big. But that's fine. Like they spent 3 mana, we spent 6. But because we copied Disciple Student, we get another Ghastly Rush. We do some damage. They don't heal from... I don't think they were supposed to heal. Wait. Siphon this round, so they weren't healing that three either, or anyway. Okay. So they're 13, possibly 12.
Lights up.
They do spend quite some mana to stop us, meaning that we're not that behind. They can play Brutal Reveler next turn. Something to keep in mind. We don't want them to tap 10 health with the core, because it will immortalize. Also, now we have a lot of seedlings, and ideally we don't have a lot of seedlings. It's interesting. I think we just play our Glasswing Monarch. this is interesting for the reason I pointed out earlier. They do have the one elusive unit or evasive unit they could have. But if they didn't, they would die next turn, right? We do 7 and then 7 again. Or 8 probably, because he levels. No, we can still do a similar thing next turn. We still have the Disciple Student. Oh. Wait, really? If he does that, I have to put him on either Blood Bolt or he surrenders. That's a bit of an early surrender, I think. Especially given he had the Hungry Tyrannosaur and everything. Maybe he couldn't deal with the Disciple Student and he knew we were going to just keep playing Ghastly Rush. I don't know. But I think opponents, they are very much surprised. You know, you see these divers, you don't think much of it. But then turns out to be quite powerful if you don't expect it. So this is an aggro deck, right? So what do we value? We value Forest Recluse for sure. Garden Apprentice is very nice with Glade Grazers, and same for Burrowing Beetle. But also same for Egg Tender. Since we don't have spells to fish for, like normally you would fish maybe for some cheap removal, maybe. But here that all of that doesn't matter. I'm thinking now, what would they play, Egg Tender or Persistent Squire? Yeah, I'm thinking. We could play, if we play Egg Tender, this becomes a 1-2. We really don't want to bank anything. Let's play this. They can't interact with it this turn. I'm just a bit scared of what they're gonna pull. Oh, they're playing something else. Rebuild? Yeah. Okay. Let's just emote him so he knows we're here. That's not that bad because we have Glade Grazers. So I wonder why he did that. We don't want to lose mana. He keeps mana open for Persistent Squire. So I think we play Gardener Apprentice now. It feels really bad because we have Glade Grazers though. Yeah, we can't play him now. We could play Forest Recluse. Maybe this is the play, I don't know.
Come in, my children.
I guess this becomes a 2-2 also. That's quite strong. He might play something else now. No, he doesn't, okay.
I made it myself.
I think there's no way he drags us in here. I think he passes. Oh, that's problematic. Oh, why? Okay, well then we can play Glade Grazers and Gardener Apprentice and just pray he does not have another rebuild. He could still Blood Bolt it after the buffs even. But at that point I have to be fine with it, I think. He could even attack. But I don't think that's worth it. Typically I prefer having a stable board for Ghastly Rush. Because once again, if Glade Grazers does not get removed, typically it immortalizes, gets overpower. And it flourishes a lot of times, especially if it's on the left of the board. So this is where the board order matters again. We take it. Interesting. We could play Disciple Student and Ghastly Rush next turn. But I think it's too early. We also don't know what he's gonna play yet. So we're gonna Destiny Ripper.
You don't need that.
Destiny Ripper, I would like to swap it out for a different card. Because I mean we can't play Muffle, for example. and we don't want to give them the tempo to develop big units. It's just, it can come in handy, and we don't have much, many other agents that are useful. It's not nice. It's not nice at all. Oh shit. Okay. Okay, that delays us quite a bit. Luckily we have at least one Glasswing Monarch for some late game. But this is definitely not ideal. If you want to curve out, we play Actendo into Destiny Ripper. So Destiny Ripper stays alive for 1 turn. This is really tough, but we can maybe still... okay, I mean that's a nice Destiny Ripper target.
You don't need that.
Almost leveled Glade Razor. We have to play a bit of a longer game. What I was gonna say is I don't think they can deal with Glasswing Monarch being evasive that well. Although they probably also run their evasive unit, but it's a smaller unit, so what are they gonna do? This is gonna die, so let's just attack. I mean, they're just gonna block with something of theirs that's gonna die. That's fine. Third Destiny Ripper, okay. So now we could play Glasswing Monarch. It would also get rid of the Torment, so that saves our Destiny Ripper. That's nice. If only the first one wouldn't have died, 3 would have actually mattered, because we could level them. Do you want to an agent? They don't have mana for anything else, but they will probably just keep it. Yeah, we have to play this. That also means we tap out of Ghastly Rush next turn, but that's fine. That's fine. So this levels. Destiny Ripper stays alive. Next turn we deal 5 and we level. That's not entirely true. The ally strikes another damaged agent. Wait, they played... Wait, what? Oh, oh, they played Throwdown. Okay. They attack. Yeah, we go down to 10. That doesn't feel great. Oh, I don't know what I've been saying lately, but we actually drew our 1 Ghastly Rush. So that also happens, and honestly that's great, because it keeps us from having to play this. Oh, that might change things. It depends on the board they're gonna form. And they can play Circle of Strife, so they can typically counter this really well. Do you want to an agent? And then for 2 more mana, an ally strikes a damaged agent. So our Glasswing Monarch is not gonna survive. But they have to play this... yeah, we have to attack now. So the thing is, they can play this and deal 1 to it. But the card that it creates, because they're both fast speed, they can't play them on the same stack. And now he can't kill it. Now he can still kill it, actually. Because he deals 1. But he doesn't have the mana to do it now. So we play Ghastly Rush. And because it leveled, the other copy gives this one +1/+1 too, so Destiny Ripper also becomes a 6/5. And we do exactly 13 damage. He can't block the evasive one. So he has to block Destiny Ripper, losing him a unit. So we don't even have a big board, but because of Glasswing Monarch being evasive and just buffing our units, especially when it levels. Nice. Oh, that's beautiful. And so now we have played our only Ghastly Rush, but we still have Discipled Student, and he creates a Ghastly Rush in our deck, or in our hand. Because it started in our deck. It doesn't pull a card from the deck, it creates it creates it. Nice. And next turn he could maybe deal with it. We can bank the mana now. We go to 8, 9. Yeah, so by banking it, we have 9 mana. We can play Disciple Student into another Ghastly Rush.
I can kill it.
That is a problem. Well, it's not a big problem, but it's a problem definitely. Because we can stop one of their units, but the other one can still attack. They have mana for a Circle of Strife into a Bloodlust. But we don't want this to level, so we could stop him for sure. And then we build a bit of a board and we just attack next turn. They're at 6. We could play, for example, Actender into Disciple Student. No, Actender. No. Disciple Student into Captain. Let's just make sure we have a full board. Oh, then he's gonna level it. Decision making is really easy on this deck because we don't have any actions to consider. Okay. So now I'm thinking 3, 2, 1. So we need to play Disciple Student or Actender now. I say we go Disciple Student, Actender, Art Park. This is also gonna die. He doesn't have any mana. We have enough mana for Ghastly Rush.
The answer's in here somewhere.
Oh. I mean, in that case... Oh, can we let it go through? We go down to 4. They could play... They don't get a chance to play the slow speed thing. And the Blood Bolt does 3 at max. But they could have Blood Bolt and Rebuild. So we could do this. And then we play Actender, Precinct Captain. I have to think here. Will it be enough? We have to hope it's enough. Okay, don't have mana to do anything here. Captain. Yeah, this should be enough. Definitely. And around. So we get Deadly Fall now. I'm thinking because we have the attack token, we can reorder our units. Does it matter? I don't think it matters. Because none of them spawn anything other than the Deadly Fauna. We do this. And that should be it. Even if they spend all their mana to... Yeah, they could still... Like triple Blood Bolt or board, for example. I mean, that would lose us the game, but triple Blood Bolt would also almost kill our core. Did they already Blood Bolt once? No. We could have also played Omega Neura. That would have also... that makes sense. That would have also killed them if they can't do anything about it. Yeah, I think they're dead. And otherwise we still have a normal attack token, keep in mind. Yeah, the captain just sprouting so much is really cool. Oh, oh. But it won't die. No, they don't. Oh. Can he damage himself? Oh. He dies, right? Yeah, that was cool though. If he would have hit 6 attack on any unit, he would have healed for like 8 or something. I think we would have still won, probably. I don't know. Okay, that was really cool. So that's 3 wins in a row. Let's keep it at this for the video to not make it too long. I hope you enjoyed the deck. and I will see you in the next video.